first arriving at Charlton Court, you know, you had to sort of discover it a little bit too much. You came up this drive and couldn't really see anything, and then you arrived next to this house and absolute bags of character, beautiful Grade 2 listed old farmhouse, and then there's this amazing Grade 2 star listed Tithe barn, which is very, very rare, forming what was a great courtyard. But over the years, somehow with the way that the planting and the landscaping had been done, it just wasn't working. It's this amazing set of buildings set underneath the scarp slope of the Sussex Downs, and you couldn't see it, you didn't know where you were. A really, really big part, probably the most important thing about the scheme, was to open the site back up to its views, to reinstate the importance and the way the courtyard really worked between the farmhouse and this old barn. We created a much more obvious and welcoming entrance to the front door of the house. We then go into a hallway and then come back and enter this new kitchen room, which was the only room in the house then which would have plenty of glass. And from that room then you could see the Sussex Downs out in front of you, and you come out onto a terrace and enjoy all the gardens, having taken out a line of poplars and a few other trees planted elsewhere. So, you know, we hadn't sort of done a napalm job on it or anything like that, but it was some really careful opening up of views and peeling back the landscape to make more sense of the place. And actually the amount of architecture, the amount of building that we've done there is fairly modest. It's a kitchen extension. James Camillo were really describing very carefully how they live, and they like entertaining a lot, and so really how the entertaining worked for them in that place. So how the kitchen really needed to work and how it would relate to the table and serving food and eating and all that sort of thing, and the fact that they needed a really big table because they wanted to be able to have lots of people around for supper, that kind of thing. And we went around quite forensically identifying moments in their existing house which really worked and also ones that didn't. So when it came to designing the new spaces and tweaking the bits of the existing house, you had the building blocks there for really understanding what would work and what wouldn't. This is a really good example of what we do on most schemes, which is you work from the very big scale of the landscape and the views and where the sun comes from and the prevailing wind, to the very small scale, which is what you want to see when you're washing up, and how the kitchen island needs to operate, and exactly where the fridge goes, and what sort of sliding door someone particularly likes. So you're oscillating between the micro and the macro. I think that's really important to get something that really sits in its place but really works for the people that are going to live there. And it means that the old bits of the house, the kind of lower ceiling, big inglenook fires, that kind of thing, can really be old and quite introspective and internalised. And then you've got this new kitchen extension which is all about the light and the view and that sort of thing. So I think it allows you to live in the house in a really contemporary way whilst celebrating the oldness of the old house and all the heritage of it.